Today, it is the last unit of this international logistics and supply chain management, which is about the outsourcing decisions in global logistics. Friends, today, till now, we have covered all these 11 units, which is different aspects we have discussed about that international logistics and supply chain management. And today is the last portion of this subject, that is outsourcing decision in global logistics. So in this unit, we'll discuss about the introduction of the global sourcing, outsourcing, and what are the third-party logistics, that is known as your 3PL. What are the basic services provided by the 3PL? Then we will discuss what is the role of 3PL or third-party logistics in logistics and supply chain management. After that, we will discuss the advanced information technology and third-party logistics. Then supply chain integration by third-party logistics providers. Then we will discuss the risky of using a third party. What are the risks associated with using the third party? Then 4PL service provider we will discuss, global outsourcing. Then last portion is role of customers house agents in logistics operations. All these things you are able to understand after completion of this chapter. So now let us go to the introduction part. To know, in the prevailing highly competitive and dynamic global business environment, with the vastly extended supply chains, companies can often be confused by the many logistics options and sources available to them when seeking to implement a highly visible supply chain management solutions. So before making a decision on how the best integrate advancing technology into your company's supply chain, it is more important than ever to evaluate the many existing options today. So nowadays, it is one of the challenging tasks by outsourcing from the globally. And Cohen and Russell in 2003 have suggested there are three situations when a firm should outsource activities to third parties. So what are the three situations? On a scale, this means they can offer the services more cheaply because of larger customer base, which keeps utilization rates high and unit costs is very low. And external partners also help companies to scale up the production quickly without having to invest in new manufacturing capacity. So it is one situation. Second is the scope. Basically, for the companies that want to expand into new markets or the geographies, outsourcing partners can provide access to operations in new locations, which would not be economical to replicate internally at current business values. And third situation, technology expertise. No outsourcing partners may have mastered a product or process technology that would require a sizable investment to develop internally. So these are the three situations. One is your scale, second is your scope, third is your technology expertise. After that, we can say outsourcing a supply chain process can help a firm to achieve several benefits. Basically, it enables the firms to focus on their core business. And French and Paver 2003 point out that a third-party outsourcer can also help a firm. So how to help that outsourcer? It is tapped into unrealized cost savings by leveraging spend across the enterprise. Also, it accelerates the achievement of results. Other thing is it provides better tracking of the key operational functions. Beyond that, it adds value by converting the operations from overhead to the competitive strength. Also, it decreased the supply cost through leverage of volume discounts, objectivity, and reduced the cycle times. Outsourcing supply chain process also improve the adherence to the policies, and it improves the inventory performance through sophisticated statistical techniques and outpace competition through the use of leading edge technology and best practices methodologies also. So by the help of this outsourcing global logistics, the organizations can get a lot of advantage. Then let us know about the third party logistics, and symbolically it is written as 3PL. The third party supply of logistics related to the operations between traders by an independent organizations. The third party logistics is the function by which the owner of the goods, that means the client company, it outsources various elements of the supply chain to one third party logistics company that can perform the management function of the clients inbound freight, customs, warehousing, order fulfillment, distribution, and outbound freight to the client's customers. It has been defined by Maxwell. And we can see in another definition also, the third party logistics provider is one who is responsible to integrate, coordinate, and manage the functions for the smooth handling of sourcing, output, and production. Okay. So from this third party logistics, we can say what are the different services provided by the 3PL or third party logistics. There are different services provided by the third party logistics. One is the different services are like, one is transportation or distribution. Third party logistics providers are providing general tracking the services, intermodal transportation services. It may be through rail, ocean, or air freight. Specialized services, time constraint services, that means you're just in time, overnight, same day, in a particular time based, and shipment tracking and tracing. This is covered by the service of the transportation and distribution. Second is another service, warehousing. It is also relating to the distribution. The third party logistics provider also serve in distribution sectors such as public, contract, regional warehouse, operation technology. The operation technology includes the any barcoding, radio frequency, etc. Value-added services like cross-docking, freight consolidation, pick and pack, etc. Order processing and fulfillment. So these are the services covered by the warehousing services. Third services provided by the third party logistics is custom services. The third party logistics is also providing the custom services like custom brokerage, duty drawback, etc. Next is IT support. The third party logistics also providing the IT support to the firms, which include EDI capability, logistics information system, and other software and web-based solutions. And apart from this, there is another service provided by the third-party logistics, that is product support services. The third-party logistics is providing the reverse logistics, value-added services like your package, label, mark, test, assembly, etc. These services, product support services, also it is another service. And last is consulting. It is another important services offered by the third party logistics. Basically, the third-party providers for total logistics solutions, including the fleet operations, distribution network design, carrier selection, negotiation, routing, facility location analysis, selection, design, and inventory management. So it is, we can say it is another important services offered by the third-party logistics. So now let us recall what are the different services provided by the third-party logistics. One is transportation and distribution. Second is warehousing distribution. Third is custom services. Fourth is IT support. Fifth is product support services. Then last is consulting. These are the different services provided by the third-party logistics. Then let us know the role of third-party logistics in supply and supply chain management. What is the role of third-party logistics in relation to the supply chain management? Third-party logistics service providers can help to integrate the supply chain, that is, supplies from raw material till supply to the end customer. So the third-party logistics can perform this job much better than of the company's own transportation without any hurdles, and they have nothing to do with the company issues. So here we can see the supply chain surplus is increased by third parties usually if either there is a rise in the value of the customer for the customer and there is a reduction in the supply chain cost in relation with an organization accomplishes its in-house task. And basically the surplus in supply chain is successfully increased by the third parties when they are in position to accumulate assets of supply chain at a level higher than the level of firm itself. So to increase the surplus, the below listed mechanisms are used by the third parties. So number one is capacity aggregation. What is this capacity aggregation? The supply chain surplus can be increased by a third party by aggregating the demand across various firms and gaining production economies on a very large scale. We can say this is the utmost shared cost for performing the production in a supply chain with the help of outsourcing. For an example, Dell used to outsource its designing and making of its process used in PCs to a different organization. It is known as Intel. Outsourcing is done as numerous processors are being manufactured by the company Intel for different manufacturers as compared to the Dell. So Intel has mass production capacity which also provides economies of scale. When the capacity requirements of the organizations are very bulky and steady, then third party will not increase the surplus with the help of capacity aggregation. This is only reason why none of the manufacturer of auto segment outsources making of its finished selling cars to a third party. So all these are coming under the capacity aggregation, we can say. Okay, next, inventory aggregation. What is that inventory aggregation? Aggregation of inventories across large number of customers by the third parties can also increase the supply chain surplus. W. Gringer and McMaster are the MRO suppliers that aggregate inventories for many of their customers to deliver the value. So to lower the overall uncertainty meaningfully and for improving the economies of scale in acquiring and convenience, aggregation is generally used. As a result, these MRO distributors prefers to hold knowingly fewer safety stock and cycling inventory than would be essential in case of every client takes a decision to hold inventory on its own. So, inventory aggregation of inventories, it is across large number of customers by the third parties. Next is your transportation aggregation. An increase in the surplus by the third party is done by combining the carriage function to advanced level than any shipper can perform on its own. FedEx is an example of transportation intermediary who aggregates transportation requirement of many clients across a diversity of shippers and creates surplus. Each case's value is driven by intrinsic economies of the scale in transportation. Every shipper tries to transport less than the transportation mode capacity. And the cost of each shipment is low when the transport intermediary accumulates the shipments among the different shipments as compared to the cost of one shipment which is noticed by one single shipper. So basically the transportation aggregation, it indicates an increase in the surplus by third party. And how it is done? It is done by combining the carriage function to the advanced level. Then any shipper can perform on its own. We can take the example of FedEx. Then fourth is by storage intermediaries. Through aggregation of both inbound and outbound transportation, even a third party also enhance the surplus in supply chain. Or you can say, for example, firms like WW Granger and McMaster-Carr used to stock products from multiple manufacturers, and then they traded the stock with the customers in huge numbers. So using inbound side, the store intermediary used to accumulate the shipments from a variety of manufacturers onto a solo track only. And as a result, the result of this activity is the reduction in the cost achieved by the manufacturers, which they cannot achieve on their own. On the other side, it is also the advantages for the customers as they also gathers different packages for their end users at one common place, whose transportation cost is significantly lower than the cost incurred by end users themselves for gathering the multiple products at one place. So, by the help of the storage intermediaries, it aggregates both inbound and outbound transportation. Even a third party also enhances the surplus in supply chain. You can take, already I've told, the firms like WW Granger and McMaster-Carr used the stock products from multiple manufacturers, and they traded the stock with the customers in huge numbers. And after that, there is a concept warehousing aggregation. If the cost of real estate is lowered along with the reduction in the processing cost, then growth in the surplus can be achieved within a warehouse also. When suppliers' warehousing requirements are minor in comparison of its needs fluctuation over a period of time, what happens? The savings through warehousing aggregation also can be achieved. So the economies of scale achieved with the help of aggregation can be used in the construction of a warehouse. And the technique of warehousing aggregation will not be beneficial for adding surplus when the supplier or customer for whom technique is adapted have stable warehousing needs. So in warehousing aggregation, what happens if the cost of real estate is lowered along with the reduction in the processing cost, then growth in the surplus can be achieved within a warehouse also. The supplier's warehousing requirements are minor in comparison of its needs fluctuation over a period of time. Savings through warehousing aggregation can be also achieved. Next is your procurement aggregation. the procurement aggregation is the utmost influential among the various minor buyers. A decent case where lower prices for stock fleet are offered with the help of aggregate buying is off fleet exchange, and procurement aggregation is considered as a major factor whenever the quantum of customers is less. And this procurement aggregation, procurement means the bring. The aggregation is the utmost influence among various minor buyers. And you can say a decent case where lower prices of the truck fleet are offered with the help of aggregate buying is the fleet exchange. It is considered as a major factor when the quantum of customer is very less. Then comes to the information aggregation. To collect the data on products from numerous producers at a single location, the services of a third party are taken. This aggregation of information decreases the exploration prices of the customers. And EVAX is a case of third-party logistic provider which delivers most information aggregation. Although EVAX hold very tiny inventory, but it is regarded as a sole point for displaying information from numerous producers. With the help of the information aggregation, EVAX is able to lessen the searching cost for its end users and customers. Also, it raises the surplus if buyers and sellers together are disjointed and purchasing is irregular. So what happens in the information aggregation is not considered as a major factor by the car manufacturer because it is repeatedly purchased steel from a sole supplier only. So you cannot say it is information aggregation. Okay. Then another is receivables aggregation. If the receivables risk can be accumulated at a level higher than the level of the firm, or if it has a lower collection as compared to the level of the firm by the third party, then there can be an increase in the supply chain surplus. For a single manufacturer, it will be very costly to collect the information about the receivables from individual retail outlet. And the control of each manufacturer to collect is also condensed provided a single retailer purchases from countless manufacturers. And this default risk is also reduced to a great extent with the use of aggregating collection. So these are the different aggregation. Another is your lower cost and higher quality. This is by providing lesser cost or improved excellence comparative to a firm, a third party can increase the surplus. These benefits will be maintainable over a long period of time, provided they come from specialization and learning. A dedicated third party who follows learning curve for few supply chain activities is most likely to uphold the benefit over an extended term. It is a common situation. It is one where the third party involved has a small cost location as compared to the one the firm is holding. And in such situation, the major reason for adopting outsourcing is the lesser cost of labor and overhead. So these are the different concepts, and let us recall what are the different things we have covered in this role of third-party logistics in logistics and supply chain management point of view. Different roles are like, one is capacity aggregation is one. Another is inventory aggregation. Please recall, one is capacity aggregation, second is inventory aggregation, third is transportation aggregation, by storage intermediaries, warehousing aggregation, procurement aggregation, information aggregation, receivable aggregation, lower cost and higher quality. These are the different roles of third-party logistics in relation to supply chain management. After that, let us know about the advanced information technology and third-party logistics. That how advanced information technology and linked with the third-party logistics, what is the relations between it? The information technology is defined by a wide range of increasingly convergent and interlinked technologies that process the information that business generates and use. So using information technology in an organization has changed from a being simple a tool for handling the transactions to a weapon that can influence an organization's competitive position. So here we can say the application of information technology has increased significantly over time in logistics and supply chain processes and management. So information technology is an essential driver for third-party logistics performance because the integration of logistics provider systems with its customers, buyers is very important. And information technology links the members of a supply chain, such as transportation firm, distributors, manufacturers, retailers, as it automates some components of the logistics workload, such as order status inquiries, shipment tracking, inventory management, order processing. Transaction cost can be decreased, and supply chain participants can also manage the increased complication if considerable information technology improves are made. So by this way, the advanced information technology linked with the logistics management. So now, what are the supply chain integration by the third-party logistics providers? Third-party logistics service providers can help to integrate the supply chain from suppliers of raw material till the supplies to end consumer. So third-party logistics can perform this job much better than that of the company's own transport without any hurdles, and they have nothing to do with the company issues. But to supply the material or finished products, the third-party logistics provides many services, which includes the shipment consolidation, order fulfillment, warehouse management, fleet management, product returns, rate negotiations, carrier selections, logistics information systems, inventory management, product assembly, and order processing. These are the number of services included by the third-party logistics providers. So third-party logistics providers' prime objective is to deliver the product in full and on time. That is FOT, we can say, full and on time. And today's customer require that all the products should be delivered on time. All the products should be delivered on time. So by this way, the degree to which a manufacturer collaboratively manages intra and inter-organization process and strategically works together with its supply chain partners is called supply chain integration. The goal is to provide the maximum value to the customer at high speed and low cost. And to achieve the effective and efficient flow of information, services and products, money and decisions. And here supply chain integration in particular implies that a business process should be interconnected both within and outside the company boundaries and streamlined and is strictly related to the coordination mechanisms. So the degree of integration between supply chain partners is also impacted by the use of advanced information technology services. Here the technology used in the supply chain integration have impact on coordination of logistics activities and information sharing within the organization. And here the different risks of using a third party. What are the different risks of using a third party? One is your broken process. The broken process, the major complications arise when a firm outsources the function of supply chain because the firm bears no control on the process. When a supply chain is already weak or broken, adding a third party is even harder. Second is risk about underestimation of the cost of coordination. The most common mistake while opting for outsourcing is the underestimation of the essential efforts, which are required to be undertaken for coordinating the activities or supply chain tasks among the number of entities involved. Actually, this is particularly connect when a firm adopts the outsourcing for an explicit supply chain function to a third party. Here we can say another risk, it reduced the direct customer or supplier contact. How? Now, a firm may tend to lose the customer or supplier contact by introducing a third party. And the loss of customer contract is essentially significant to a firm which sells directly to the customers and decides to introduce a third party either to collect orders and or deliver the products. Clear? Next risk factor is growth in third party power at the cost of internal capability. In case where outsourcing increases the power of the third party, the firm has the option to choose for in-house service facility for supply chain functioning. So keeping part of the supply chain function in-house is very important as it can be used as a good option whenever the situation calls out the same. This growth in the third party power at the cost of internal capability. It is another type of risk factor. Next is confidentiality of sensitive data and information. When any firm takes the help of third party, then there is a need to share the information about demand and even for the intellectual property. If third party also serves competitors, there is always a danger of leakage. Another is ineffective contracts. Gains arising out of the outsourcing to the third party can be reduced significantly by the contracts with performance metrics. And in a contract, if the motivation of the third party to take actions that can be lessened, the inventory is reducing. Then what happens in such scenario? It is advisable for the firm to give more freedom to the third party to take the decisions about the quantum of the inventories and give a contract of desired service level. That is ineffective contracts is also another risk factor. So all these risk factors, again I am repeating only what are the risks of using a third party. The risks are like, one is your broken process. Second is your underestimation of the cost of coordination. Reduce the direct customer and supplier contract. Next, growth in third party power at the cost of internal capability. These are the different risks and confidentiality of sensitive data and information, ineffective contracts. Then comes to the 4PL service provider. There are 4-party logistics service provider. Already third party we have discussed and different relations with the third party logistics with advanced technology, different risks, everything we have discussed. Now let us discuss about the 4th-party logistics, and basically the term 4th-party logistics and lead logistics provider, 4PLs and LPP. LPP means lead logistics provider, were introduced in 1996 by the Bob Evans of Arthur Anderson, it is the work sensor, and are defined as the follows. What defined? A 4PL or 4-party logistics is an integrator which is used by different organizations for designing, building, and running comprehensive supply chain management as it gathers the resources, abilities, and expertise. And fourth party logistics is one of the significant evolutions in supply chain management. It is an actually there is a significant evolution. And the convergence of the technology and the rapid acceleration of the capabilities have increased the need of for an overreaching the integrator for supply chain scanning activities. And fourth party logistics is the shared sourcing of a supply chain scanning activity with a client and selected the teaming partner under the direction of a fourth party logistics integrator. So a fourth party logistics company takes over the logistics section of a particular business. So here we can say, now let us know what is the difference between fourth party logistics and third party logistics. Is there any difference or no? It has been argued that a 4PL, fourth party logistics is nothing but a non-asset based third party logistics. But it has been argued that any logistics service provider that offers multiple service can be categorized under the term third party logistics. And a new term is not required for this type of logistics service provider. In order to draw a line between third party logistics and fourth party logistics, difference has to be clarified. So, according to the Council of Logistics Management, a 4PL differs from the 3PL in the different ways. What are the ways? Now let us discuss. A 4PL or fourth party logistics organization is often a separate entity established as a joint venture or long-term contract between a primary client and a multiple logistics service providers. A 4PL or fourth party logistics organization acts as a single interface between the client and multiple logistics service providers. Now, all aspects of client's supply chain are managed by fourth party logistics organizations. And it is possible for a major third party logistics provider to form a fourth party logistics organization within its existing structure. So what is that? Another difference, the two distinct features that make the concept of 4PL from other third party logistics outsourcing options are: a fourth party logistics presents a comprehensive supply solution, comprehensive supply chain solution. And a fourth party logistics delivers the value through the ability to have an impact on entire supply chain. And here we can say, let us know about the global outsourcing. What are the different global outsourcing? You know, in today's borderless world, that means in an era of liberalization, privatization, and globalization, business are conducted without any hurdles, with the help of global outsourcing. Because everything everything is cannot be possible individually. So for this, it will take the help of global outsourcing. So by the passage of time, companies are adopting different outsourcing model also. Definitely it will happen. So outsourcing is not only a quick success for achieving the reduction of cost, but it is even more essential. So global outsourcing firms generally adopts a mixed strategy which makes the use of inside, offshore, and nearshore outsourcing solution for achieving the strategic occupational aims for its clients. And in current scenario, we can say each outsourcing company is giving its best for increasing the growth in the revenue earned and valuing its business. So in the global outsourcing, we can say there is a adopts a mixed strategy which makes the use of insight, offshore and near-shore outsourcing solution for achieving the strategic occupational aims for its own clients. So in global outsourcing, we can say global outsourcing lessens the dangers for the client. Why? It is as it is not either country specific or geography dependent. Then it provides for additional autonomy and elasticity in the process of decision making during the process of outsourcing mechanism. Whatever may be, it permits the traders to study, familiarize, develop, and progress while safeguarding the expertness in quality and distribution in the business process. And global outsourcing companies have been adopted a modular approach for service delivery as they are motivated by the ever-changing customer needs. Evolving and updated technology. Technology is used for workflow automation. Here we can say in today's scenario, nearly where every companies one is using outsourcing facility because of its advantage or added competitive positioning, be it in the banking or financial sector, insurance or telecom sector, pharmaceutical or health sector, any hotel industry, whatever may be. The basic services outsourced by the most of the industries include research, development, customer care support, financial aids, products related services like development, testing, production oriented, etc. So for all these basic services, it may be outsourced by most of the industries nowadays. And now, after that, the point of discussion is what are the different factors influencing the global outsourcing? There are different factors which affects the global outsourcing. The factor may be understand the market's transportation infrastructure and have a plan, low tariffs, attractive labor cost, and appealing rates are one thing. Getting the goods from a point A to their final destination is another. So for this, there is have a good understanding of a perspective market seaports, airports, and ground transportation in order to know how easy or difficult it may be to get the goods between the destinations. Another factor is examine the economy, growth, and trade trends. For the companies that need the custom motor manufacture, they seek a country that makes outsourcing simple and examines the national import trends. It is important that the countries within the most of the countries opportunities are those that have a steady increase in imports, as well as the experience rise in per capita income that rises at the same time. So what happens? Seek a compatible workflows. Another factor is seek a compatible workforce. The company should have enough staff members to fulfill the order by the agreed upon deadline. In addition to the workforce should meet the needs of a company. So these factors like another is factory audits. Never take an offshore factory's claims and promises at a face value. Because a company representative should visit the prospective factories and perform an on-site audit to ensure they meet certain qualifications and standards. So here, the different factors influencing the global outsourcing. Please recall One is understand the market's transportation infrastructure and have a plan. Second is examine the economic growth and trade trends. Next is seek a compatible workforce. Fourth is factory audits. These are the different factors affects. After that, let us know what are the different risks involved in global outsourcing. The risks are like factory selection. To reduce the chances of choosing the wrong factory, find an outsourcing partner which is familiar with the parts that a company needs and is willing to send a representative to visit the factory to verify its claims. An outsourcing partner may also have good professional relationship with reputable factories that can meet companies' needs. So factory selection, it is a risk involved in the global source, outsource. Second is quality. Poor quality is the biggest risk that a company is faced with regards to outsourcing. Poor quality is one of the biggest risks. Quality, in a competitive environment, quality factor is a very vital. Risk can be mitigated with regular factory visits and audits that a company representative or outsourcing partner regularly performs to identify the problems early. So, two risks we have discussed till now. One is factory selection, second is quality. Next is commercial risk. What is that commercial risk? Sometimes the companies have management changes, a lack in excess capacity, defective products, or unwilling to take corrective actions. What happens? Prevention of such risk comes with the inspection and audits before and during the production process. Negotiation. It takes a mix of cultural understanding with the right language and interpersonal skills to successfully negotiate a contract. In addition to bids that there are too high, be aware of the risks that come with those that are too low, which may lead to compromise on quality. So, next is logistics and design maturity. Logistical risks like delivery delays, damaged products are always present but can cost a firm even more when it is outsourced. So, what happens here? A good outsourcing partner mitigates the logical risk related to the design of a product by having clients work with engineers who are familiar with the types of design drawings, specifications, and details that factories need. The representatives in the outsourcing country should then monitor the work in the progress at the factory level. Next factor is intellectual property. The patent, there is a patent laws are weak in some countries. An outsourcing partner can provide guidance about how to best protect its ideas and interests, but it is not strong in all countries. So it is another reason. Credibility and cost. If a firm does not have an established relationship with an international factory, it may charge you more or place a low priority on your order. With the right banking techniques and outsourcing partner that has an established relationship, a firm can mitigate such financial and production risk. This is about the credibility and cost. Political risk like labor strikes, demand for higher wages, like can hurt the production in the factory. So if the production will be halted, then it can also experience the difficulties if there are external political events like sourcing of relationship between the US and the respective countries. Here also sometimes the problem arises. Now, another part, what is the role of customs house agent in logistics operations? Custom house agents or CHA. Custom house agent or CHA, it means a person licensed under the Custom House Agent and Licensing Rules 2004, as amended from time to time, because time to time the rule has been changed, and to act as an agent for the transportation of any business relating to the entrance or clearance of any vessel or the import or export of goods or baggage in any custom house. Section 146 of the Customs Act 1962 provides that customs house agents should take a license for working as a custom house agent in any part of India, and their working is regulated under the Customs House Agent Licensing Rules 2004. So here, the Custom House Agent means it is a licensed person of licensed under the Customs House Agent, and as per the rules of 2004, and it is amended from time to time. And there are different functions of Custom House agents. So many functions are there. One is preparation of various kinds of bill of entry and shipping bill. Different bills and bill of entry, shipping bill that will be prepared by the Custom House agent. Also, Custom House agents enter the arrival entry and clearance of the vessels. Also, it maintains tariff classifications and rates of duties. Also determines the value of assessment. Custom House agents conversion of the currencies also it takes into the consideration or discussion. By that, the nature and description of documents to be filed with the various kinds of bills of entry and shipping bill. The procedures for assessment and payment of the duties. Examination of the merchandise at the custom stations. Also, Custom House agents provisions the Trade and Merchandise Marks Act 1958. It prohibitions on imports and exports, bonding procedure and clearance from bond, and there is a re-importation and conditions for free re-entry. Next is there is a drawback. Then is the offences under the Act, refund procedures, appeals, and revision petitions also there. So all these varieties of the functions are performed by the Custom House agent. And as we have discussed all these things about the global outsourcing, so now let us recall some of the important portion of this chapter. Just briefly I am discussing. One is your third party logistics. So here third party logistics, we can say there is an important concept, the role of third party logistics in and supply chain management. The third party logistics service provider can help to integrate the supply chain. That means from supplies of raw material to the supplier to the end customers. Here there is some concepts are there. One is your capacity aggregation, inventory aggregation, transportation aggregation. Then there is a buy storage intermediaries, warehousing aggregation, procurement of the aggregation, information aggregation, receivable aggregation, lower cost and higher quality. Okay. So after that, we have discussed the advanced information technology and third party logistics. You know, in a technological environment, in the technological scenario, the information technology is defined by a wide range of increasingly convergent and interlinked technology that process the information that business generates and use. So using information technology in an organization has changed from a being simple tool of handling transactions to a weapon that can influence an organization's competitive position. And in the supply chain integration and third party logistics providers, if we can discuss, then here there is a third party logistics service providers can help to integrate the supply chain from suppliers of raw material till the supplies to the end consumer. It can perform this job much better than that of a company's own transport without any hurdles, and they have nothing to do with the company's issues. So here there are some, after that we have also discussed there is some risk using a third party. What are the different risks? One is your broken process. Another is your underestimation of the cost of coordination, reduced direct customers and supplier contract, growth in third party power at the cost of internal capability. Next is confidentiality of sensitive data and information, ineffective contracts. After that, we have studied the fourth party service provider, logistics service provider. Fourth party logistics service provider and lead logistics provider were introduced in 1996. So fourth party logistics is an integrator which is used by different organizations for designing, building, managing the comprehensive supply chain management, and it gathers the sources, abilities, and expertise. So it is one of the significant evolutions in the supply chain management, we can say. It is a very significant evolution. And what is the basic difference between fourth party logistics and third party logistics? Basic difference is fourth party logistics represent comprehensive supply chain solutions, and fourth party logistics delivers the value through the ability to have an impact on entire supply chain. After that, we have discussed the global outsourcing, and in global outsourcing we have discussed how in the today's borderless world or in the era of LPG, business are conducted without any hurdles with the help of global outsourcing. Really, it is one of the vital support towards the global outsourcing, and it lessens the dangers for the client, as it is either the country specific or geography dependent. And in today's scenario, nearly every company is using outsourcing facility because its advantage or added competitive positioning, be it in the banking and financial sector, insurance, telecom, pharmaceutical, health, hotel industry, everywhere it is adapted. Then basically, what are the factors influencing the global outsourcing? There are different factors. One is you understand the market transportation infrastructure, examine the economic growth and trade trends, seek a compatible workforce. Then there is a factory audits. Then we have discussed what are the different risks involved in the global outsourcing. One is your factory selection, quality, commercial risk, negotiation, then logistics and design maturity, intellectual property, credibility and cost. Then there is a political risk. All these are the risk factors. Then lastly, we have discussed the role of custom house agents. As you know, it is a licensed under the custom house licensing under the licensing rules 2004 to act as the agents for transaction of any business relating to the entire entrance or clearance of any vessel. And the function of custom house agents are like preparation of various kinds of bill of entry and shipping, arrival of entry, clearance of the vessels, and refund of procedures, appeals and revisions, petitions, etc. So many functions are there. And after that, let us go. There are small case or situations, how it is linked with the global sourcing or outsourcing. First small case or situation, we can say it is a situation, not case, because by linking all these theoretical concept, I am just planning one or two to three small situation or cases to discuss about you with in front of you. One is your IT outsourcing. Infosys and general in the context is in the 1990s, GE outsourced its software services to Indian IT companies like Infosys. And here the challenge is high operational cost and need for round the clock support. This was the challenge. Then what was the solution? The solution is basically the GE company GE offshored the software development and back up his processes to the India. And the outcome was there is a significant cost savings, that is 30 to 50% scalability and time zone advantage. It was about the outsourcing, IT outsourcing, because our chapter was about the outsourcing or global sourcing. One incident I have discussed. Second incident or situation is manufacturing outsourcing. for the case of the company Apple and Foxer, the context was Apple designs its products in the US, but the outsources manufacturing to companies like Foxconn in China. So what happens here? The one product design of the product occurred in the US, whereas there is a manufacturing outsource from the China. Here the challenge was high labor cost and production scalability in the US. And the solution, what was the solution? The partner with the Foxconn assembly and component manufacturing. And the outcome will be lower production cost, faster scaling, and focus on the innovation and design. This is the another case, that is pharma company, R&D, research and development outsourcing, Pfizer and Indian CROs. The contents Pfizer outsourced part of its drug discovery and clinical trials to Indian contract research organization, CROs. The challenge was there is a rising of the R&D costs and lengthy trial phases. So how it will be mitigated? That will be the solution was leveraged India's scientific talent and lower cost, and as a result or outcome, faster, more affordable drug development process occurs after leverage the Indian scientific talent and lower cost. This is the last case, that is e-commerce outsourcing by Amazon's global customer services. The Amazon handles the massive volumes of the custom queries, and the challenge was maintaining high quality 24/7 customer service. The outsourced customer service countries like Philippines and India, they are, because you are the most populated country, who can provide them the manpower. So the outcome will be high quality support at the reduced operational cost. So all these cases are linked with the global outsourcing. And after discussion of the particular cases and the concept, I hope you must have understood. So I wish all of you all the best, and thank you all.